Hello, welcome to our Valentine's Day video. We're trying to kind of go into things in advance so we can give you some ideas perhaps about things that you might enjoy for perhaps gifting. We want to talk a little bit about history and so forth. I'm Dr. Bill.
And I'm Ted. Remember, this year it's Wednesday, February 14th is Valentine's. But not a lot of people kind of know about the history of Valentine's Day. Doc, you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, throughout history, at least the earliest I was able to see was like in 273 AD when a Roman emperor was persecuting a priest named Valentine because he was ministering to Christian soldiers as well as marrying them, which was expressly forbidden. So he became a martyr, and throughout history, he's martyred as St. Valentine. History then repeats itself a lot of ways, but we see St. Valentine's throughout recorded history. Up until 13th century, it really wasn't associated that much with love or attraction between people, but Chaucer got involved. And if any of you read Chaucer, he usually gets kind of raunchily involved. Then becomes known as St. Valentine's Day. The 14th of February came into being because of the time around which they began to see mating of birds. Then on down the road, here comes William Shakespeare, Ophelia, and Hamlet. And when they talk about a maid and donning of clothes and coming and going. So it's become now then more of a romantic type of celebration. And we celebrate that to this day.
Well, Doc, what are your kind of thoughts on what are you going to do for Valentine's Day?
Well, like we talked a little bit ago, probably going out is a challenge because everyone else is too. So maybe just some real thoughtful planning about a nice dinner at home or dinner with two or three friends, and enjoying some gifts that we want to talk about.
Well, you're kind of like me. We both kind of consider ourselves lucky to be with the ones we're with. We kind of both outkicked our coverage. So,
Yep.
you know, but, so I kind of want to do something, nice and special for my wife. And what are you thinking about maybe for yours? Give us some ideas.
Well, gifting kind of comes in several different categories. In good times, maybe jewelry, but then perhaps flowers, always appropriate. Then talk about candies, sweets, confections, and then spirits. And we're going to talk about a few of those, both for our families, our wives, our husbands, as well as some things that we can use with our kids.
Hmm.
Usually start thinking about stuff like bubbles.
Yeah, always a good option. Bubbles are kind of a great kind of catch-all. We've kind of talked about this, in the past, whether it's, with some chocolates or maybe some sweet fruits or some, kind of confectioners, things like that. Bubbles are always a great idea. You can always go with a nice brute if you like something a little on the drier side, but also it's about finding something that your significant other is going to enjoy. So if they like a little bit sweeter things, maybe go with an Asti Spumani. Still sparkle, still, pop a cork, but it's just going to be sweeter. Or the super popular right now, middle of the road, which is the Northern Italian Prosecco, is always a good option. But also, you can do some fun, kind of things that you wouldn't necessarily think about, like maybe a Cabernet with some dark chocolates or something like that. Or, a nice rosé, and this is not your typical, as we've said, kind of pink wine. It's not necessarily that sweet, but it is going to be kind of strawberried up front, a little bit dry on the back end, really nice. But Doc, what else are you thinking about?
Well, what about kids?
Well,
They're going to be at the table too.
yeah,
Got
sometimes,
any ideas about them?
Valentine's Day is what brings those along. So, we can't forget about them. So, that might be a good option, too. What do we got here?
We got some sparkling apple cider, and it's really tasty, and it's festive. You got the bubbles, you got the glass, you got the whole spirit, and I think they like to join in with that.
Absolutely. So, whatever you do, just make sure to keep in mind that this is about, love and sharing and celebration and all that. So, you know, Do something that you know your significant other is going to enjoy and that you're going to enjoy yourself, because that's kind of what it's all about. So, Doc, what else you got in mind as far as thoughts on this?
Well, the main thing is Valentine's has been kind of thought of as perhaps a Christian holiday, uh, a cultural holiday, a regional holiday, but now it's mainly become a commercial holiday because when you look at the rows in the supermarkets or your local pharmacies, rows upon rows of Valentine's cards, candies, and so forth uh, come about.
Yep.
So boil it down to what's important is who is important to you and how you celebrate it with them. So we wish you a happy Valentine's, a pleasant one. And remember the key word if you do go out, Uber.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody wants to spend their Valentine's in the clink. So, like, subscribe, comment. Thanks.